practitioner. So yeah, that's great. So I'll just, since we're here, you know, I'm an exercise guy. That's my wheelhouse. First of all, grab your water. Let's get that out of the way. Grab a big hit of water so I don't forget and get grief from you guys.
Nice. For you to come to talk to.
I'll just briefly go into this because we're on, and then we'll get into the exercise. I've kind of come up with 5 different categories that we need to manage. 5 categories that we need to manage to optimize our quality of life, which is why we're here, right? Hi, Dinah. To optimize our quality of life. So the first is what we were just talking about, your medical team. And I'll just talk briefly about this. Most of you are hopefully being treated by a neurologist, and there's a distinction of you want to be have someone on there that's what they call a fellowship-trained movement disorder neurologist, which is basically someone who has specialized in movement disorders, and their continuing education requirements are probably more specific to Parkinson's, and they also typically have more people with Parkinson's coming through the doors. And that's not possible for everyone, but it is. And I'm not saying anything bad about a general neurologist. They might be doing everything perfectly. But it's always nice to have, a second look and a second opinion. And I work with numerous clients. I call the people I work with clients, not patients, because my credential is not a medical credential. I'm a trainer. But I work with numerous clients that have 2 neurologists, and they had started with the one that maybe diagnosed them, and then they work with a fellowship-trained movement disorder. They maybe see that person every 6 months, and maybe the other one a little more regularly. But the neurologists often talk to each other. And this question got brought up. There's a Dr. Somsky out here who I also like very much. He was a movement disorder neurologist, and he was talking about the distinction. And someone raised the question. I've been seeing my neurologist forever. And I really like her or him. I don't remember. It's not important. But I feel awkward about asking for a second opinion. And his response was, then you're not with the right neurologist. You got to advocate for yourself. And if you're uncomfortable asking these questions, then you need to open up dialogue with them at times. And like Art just said, he's probably going to get a second opinion, even though he's with one of the top guys in the world, frankly, in terms of research. And the real good ones are very open to that. And the real good ones are so busy. They're like, please, you can, if you have tried to get in to see them in Los Angeles, it can be a 2-month wait. So Mike's smiling. What's that? You're with me on that? Huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So anyway, so first category, and then we're going to jump in here. Wow, we got 73 people. And if you're on YouTube watching right now, my email's in the comments section there. Shoot me an email, and I'll add you to the list. You can join us here and meet everybody. So medical team. Number 2, nutrition. Making sure that you're eating good, healthy foods. Number 3, exercise, right? And these categories can really apply to anyone. So exercise. Number 4, believe it or not, I'm going to say is mental health. You want to have someone qualified that you can talk to, because Parkinson's has and this isn't giving me an education. This is an exercise class, but I just kind of spilled into this. Parkinson's has non-motor symptoms that you need to be aware of. As a bummer of the diagnosis is, it can also have depression. It can have other sleep disorder stuff. So you want to have someone of things that you're not feeling good about stuff, that you have someone to talk to. And then the 5th, I just mentioned it, the 5th thing is sleep. Okay, so sleep is incredibly important. You guys want to be getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a day, and naps count. Now, that's what I've heard. So anyway, those are the 5 categories that you want to kind of have those boxes checked and make sure you got your best team assembled. So I don't know why I made exercise number 3. Happens to be my middle finger, but not that has to do with anything. But that's what we're here for. So we're going to start off with a big round of applause. You made it for exercise class. All right. So here's the deal for the new folks. I'm going to mute everybody so we have a nice quiet room to work out in. This is a record. We got 73 people today. So thank you, everyone, for coming in. All right. So I'm going to mute everybody, but we are going to come back at the end of class together. If you have questions during class, go ahead and unmute yourself, ask the question. If you want an answer about something we're doing, go ahead. If you can wait for the break, that's great. We're going to start with some just snow angels. So this is our energetic class. And for the equipment, we use a towel, a ball, exercise tubing, and 2 hand weights. We don't always get to every piece of equipment, but I like to have them handy based on what we're doing and what I'm feeling and how we are moving. Like I said, this is the named energetic class. So just a heads up, we're going to be moving pretty quickly here. I used to do half the class in the chair and half standing, but since we now have the gentle class, I'm going to do a brief warm up in the chair. Then we're going to get up and do some movement. 3 more. 1, breathe. 2, and up, and 3, and down. Roll your shoulders back. We're going to do a slow, easy warm up that gets progressively more intense. Roll them backwards. Now roll them forward. Breathe. We want to work on our posture. We want to work on balance. We want to work on strength, endurance, flexibility, hand-eye coordination, fine motor, reaction time, everything. But most importantly, we're going to have some fun. And it's going to start right now. We're going to make a mess. There's a big pile of leaves over here on the right. Reach down, open those hands up, grab a huge fistful of leaves in each hand, and throw them up and across onto your neighbor's lawn. That's right. Big movements. As you get down low, hinge from the hip. Try to keep your spine neutral. We're doing a wonderful rotation for the spine. Nice and easy. Open the hands up. Exaggerate the opening of the hands. Grab 2 fistfuls of leaves, and as you let those leaves go, flick the fingers. Up and across. Keep the air flowing. 2 more. 1. Breathe. And 2, now let's reach on down to the left here. Grab 2 fistful leaves again and throw them up and across. I was talking about this Sunday day. We were out in the backyard, social distancing. I put a TV out there and I tried making pizzas again on the grill. My gosh, that ain't easy. But it's fun. I looked like a flower bomb had hit me afterwards. 2 more. 1, 2, down to the right now, and up and across to the left, down to the left, and up across to the right. Here we go. Keep the air flowing, keep the body moving. Turn and turn. Beautiful work. Let's do 3 more. 1, and it's raining leaves. 2, and 3, and let's dive down into that beautiful warm turquoise river and let's go for a swim. Keep your eyes out. There are dangerous creatures in this water. Up, bigger. Now we're not moving too fast now, so come on. I want you to focus on large movements. Get them up there. Try to top each repetition a little bit bigger than the previous. Exaggerated, enormous, so big that if someone saw you doing it, you might get a little embarrassed. We got to get comfortable being uncomfortable, folks. Here we go. Up and down. 1 more up, and now let's reach forward and back and forward and back. Breathe and back. And let's take a little pause after this one and let our arms slide across the surface of the water as we lean out over the chair, kicking your opposite leg out to the side so you can use that leg as a counterbalance. So lean out nice and far over the edge of the chair, feeling your core engage. Stretch. Parkinson's kind of dull our ability to perceive size of motion. So we want to, like I say, get comfortable being uncomfortable. Get comfortable exaggerating stuff. What harm can that be? For all of this, though, we do want to stay in a pain-free range of motion, right? Talk about that. 1 more on this side. And then we're going to push it back onto the other side and hold. Hold, hold, hold. Yeah, kind of plank there. Reach out. Feel that core engaged. Keep your stomach tight. And come back across and stretch out to the left. Breathe. Hold. When I say hold, I don't mean hold your breath. I mean just hold. Get that leg up and back across to the right. Breathe and hold. And again, sliding across to the left. Stretch, stretch, stretch. See if you can get your arms parallel to the ground and then check them. Try to do it without looking and then check and kind of assess how you're doing. Your ability to perceive your body in space is called proprioception, and age-related factors and Parkinson's can kind of suppress that ability too. So we want to be working on understanding how we're holding ourselves, what our tendencies are. Let's dive back into that river and go for a swim. This time, let's go up, and then let's go forward and up and forward. And it's a beautiful warm day. The water is clear, and we hear a little splashing behind us, and we look back there, and there's two little eyes and a big long snout. Our 14-foot crocodile is hot on our tail, so let's go. Pick it up. If being chased by a crocodile in a beautiful river doesn't motivate you to do it, I don't know what. I don't got anything more for you. Come on, faster. Here we go. The forward one, feel it takes a little bit more time, right? That's okay. Really reach forward from the hip. One more, up and back and up and forward and sit back up and go ahead and breathe. We've outswum him, don't worry. Go ahead and we're going to go into the no money stretch. I talk about this a lot. I think we got some new folks here, so just going to briefly go over our posture. Go ahead and wrap your fingertips on your clavicle. Create that little hot spot and then go back to the no money stretch. So now you feel that place where you kind of wrap your fingertips. Raise that up towards the ceiling a little bit. Breathe. We're going to do a calming breath, which is a big breath in through your nose, fill up the lungs, and then just let the air come out. There we go. Beautiful. Zap! You guys are now 2 feet tall, and we're on an elevator, and we're going to reach up and try to touch the button. Here and here. Really stretch it. After this drill, make sure I turn you back to your normal size. Reach up and get that button. Come on. Up and stretch and turn. Good. And now let's take that right hand and let's reach straight forward and across. And left hand forward and across. Breathe. And now let's reach downwards and across. These buttons are in some strange places, so let's stop pressing buttons. Let's make 2 fists. And let's throw some heat. Bring out ooch and ouch, like 2 fist friends. And we're going to start by punching up and across, back, forward and across, and downward and across. Here we go. Up, forward. And for this, abracadabra, bam, you're back to your normal size. Don't want to forget to do that. Remember last week when I forgot to turn you guys back? You had to spend the whole rest of the week 2 feet tall. And let's pick up the pace. Turn the hands over as you bring them out. Feel that arm shudder a little bit. Out and down. One more and up and out and down and rest. Shake out. Big breath into the nose. Calming breath. Just let the cavity collapse. When you're working on your breathing, the inhalation phase is the important one. Big breath in. Just let the air pop out. Let the lungs collapse. All right. Grab your ball and get a sip of water while we're transitioning here. Okay. Just toss the ball back and forth, sitting in your chair. I talk about this every class. this little seemingly simple activity has a whole bunch of really high value components to it. So leave the ball somewhere where you'll see it after class, before next class, and just spend a minute or two just tossing the ball every once in a while when you think of it, when you got the time to do so. Bounce it, catch it, back and forth. Whoa. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get up out of the chair here. And this is a fine motor hand-eye coordination task, right? We're going to combine that with a gross motor function, which is your large muscle joints. We're going to come up out of the chair. Once standing, we're going to toss the ball a couple times and take it back down to the chair. So we're going to combine fine motor and gross motor. We're going to do the and up technique. For those of you who just found me, or just, I've got a YouTube channel as well. Check that out. I got about 80 videos up there with technique stuff, workouts, stretches, a whole bunch of stuff. So check that out. I address the how to get out of a chair, the sit to stand drill, the and up technique that we use. If you want that more in depth, go check that out. Okay, here we go. Ready, go, and up. Once standing, toss it a couple times, and then bring it back down to the chair. As soon as you hit the chair, hitch back and throw it forward and up. The move, getting out of the chair, the adjective, vigorous. Throw yourself vigorously forward. This technique will help you get out of even the lowest chair. Well, not maybe every low chair, but most of them. Up. Toss it a couple of times, bring it back down to the chair. Up. Good. And when you come down to the chair, take it slow, nice and easy and controlled. Feel the muscles doing that lowering work. Bring it down. Let's do 3 more. Up. Good. If you come up and don't get all the way up and go back down to the chair, that's fine. You just need to really throw yourself forward. We're going to keep going here because I like what I'm seeing. Imagine almost face planting, throwing your face down towards the floor. You won't do that. Your body will stop you. It's got a lot of protection responses, programming, I guess you might call it. So if you really think about kind of throwing your body forward and getting out over the big muscles so they have a mechanical advantage to help lift you up, it's going to help. We'll do one more. Breathe, don't hold your breath. And remain standing on this one. So this one, we're going to go down. We're going to do 4 of these, down to the chair on an 8 count. As we go down to the chair, I want you throwing the ball back and forth, improvising with it. Catch it different ways. Don't plan it. Just toss it up there and see what you do. Okay. And looking at the ball and following it is not cheating. In fact, I want you to be watching it the entire time. Okay, here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down and up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down and up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one and up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down. Big breath in. Let it out. Okay. Come up out of the chair and find some space to move. It's about to get pretty intense, guys. So if you have balance issues, be conservative. You can even adapt what we're doing here standing to the chair. If you want to stay in the chair, that's perfectly fine. Like I say, this is the energetic class, and someone tuning in and seeing what we're doing might think I'm nuts. If that's you, put it on gallery and see what these guys are up to. You guys are champions. We have all different levels, so go at your own pace. Now, what I'd like to say, go ahead and start marching in place, is Parkinson's can make things we learned to do without being taught difficult, like getting out of a chair, like sitting down in a chair, like rolling over in bed, like going upstairs, like walking. So this is a drill we're going to use to get our heart rates up that's going to help us co-coordinate the upper body and lower body movement that we execute when we walk. Now, we weren't taught to walk, right? We kind of developed into that nice arm swing that we do when we walk. But Parkinson's can affect the way we step, the way we swing our arms. So we want to begin to co-coordinate the upper body and lower body actively. We need to kind of be on a pursuit of understanding how that functions, how those limbs function, and to practice that. So this is going to help us coordinate left side upper body, right side upper body, left side lower body, and vice versa. So with the ball in the right hand, you're going to make a throwing motion as you step forward with the left leg, and then switch it up other side. Now, when I give this typically to someone new, they typically will oftentimes step forward with the same side leg that is throwing, and it would look like this. And that is not how we walk. But we want to be able to co-coordinate opposite sides, upper body, lower body. Keep moving, make the movement large, turn it, get that swing big. So the first one is a throwing forward, stepping forward. You can make it a little more challenging if you want by dropping. Good job, Pam. Dropping into a step forward lunge. Good, Francine. Keep moving. One more on each side after this one. And take the ball back in the right hand and throw it upwards as you step back with the left leg. As I like to say, step back and throw up. Oh, I'm here all week. I got 4 jokes. They get funnier every time I say them. Keep moving. One more on each side. And then take the ball in the right hand and throw it out to the side as you step out to the side. So this is the third move, and we're going to combine them. This is a drill I do every once in a while, and it's always the same. So a lot of our movements that we perform here, if they seem a little bit foggy or awkward or unclear as you're doing them, don't worry. You'll see them again, and the gray areas are going to disappear, and the hard lines of understanding will show up. Everything we do here, every movement, every exercise has a very specific purpose. We don't waste any time here. You'll see that. One more on each side. Now, let's put it in series. So as you recall, first one was throwing forward. Second one is stepping backwards and throwing upwards. And the third is out to the side. And then back to number 1, forward. So we've got our brain now activating the reciprocal sides of the body. And that's the component of this drill that hopefully will transfer into a better gait for you. And pick up the pace. Here we go. We're in it, guys. We are in it. We're warmed up and we're ready to go. Time to put the gas on. Here we go. Make it athletic. Whatever that word means to you. Make the movement athletic. Good. And we're going to do 4 more after this one as fast as we can. We're going to change it up a little bit. Okay, here we go. Whip it out there. Come on. Don't think about repetition speed. Think about body speed. Don't compromise the movement, in other words. Don't shorten it up to get through the repetition. Just go fast. Quick speed, same pattern. Here's 3. Last one. And once you're done, put the ball in the right hand and march in place. Good. Breathe. Good. And we're marching into a cave here. And the cave is getting lower. We want to still march. Crouch down. Protect that low back. Make sure your spine is neutral. As you look, my spine is in the same position. I'm not slumping forward. Okay, the ceiling is going up again. I'm coming bigger, bigger, bigger. And we realize we're not alone in this here cave. So we're going to turn around in place. We realize there is a hibernating bear. Let's pick up the pace. Let's get out of here. Uh-oh, here comes the low section. Come on. Oh, he's right behind us. Big, big grizzly bear. Okay, ceiling's getting taller again. And we're out in the open. There he is. Run for it. Here we go as fast as we can. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, no quit. 2, 1, time. Woo! Big breath in. Put the ball down, grab your hand weights. We're fine. We outran them. Oh boy. Okay. Grab a sip of water, grab your hand weights. So we work on all the components I discussed with an eye for improving our activities of daily living, remaining strong, the health benefits we talk about from exercise as well, but also fall avoidance. That reaction you always have when you lose your balance, I call the scramble. And we're basically going to do a drill that's going to help us achieve that better if it ever happens. We're going to do that by improving the leg strength, our balance, and our leg speed. All right? So when we need to react and scramble, our legs are capable of gaining our balance back. Okay, spread your feet out, hands up. We're getting to this earlier. We're getting down, and as we come up, we're going to punch up and across. Give me some rotation. So this is a great full body exercise here that's going to bring strength back into these legs. Breathe. We're going to build a circuit here comprised of 4 different exercises. And we're building the first one right now. And we're going to perform this circuit 3 times. All right, as we punch up and across, let's change that to straight forward and across. Again, turning the body. Breathe. Reach out and turn. Now, if you need to take a break, go ahead and rest and rejoin us when you're ready. You need to be drenched in sweat to get some good adaptation and improvements in your balance and your strength and your flexibility. Let's have fun, but let's work. One more on each side. And for this next one, we're going to punch down and across. This is a little bit more of an awkward move because our hands are actually coming down as our body's coming up. Breathe. So the first exercise is going to be this drill here when we're going up, out, and down, around and around. I'll show you what I mean. Let's do one more on each side. Reset. Arch in place for a minute. And get back to position. Feet out, hands up. So bring it down, come up and across. Bring it down, come straight forward and across. Bring it down, down and across. And now up and across. So this is our first exercise of the little circuit. Breathe, keep the air flowing. Pick up the speed. Get into a body rhythm and cadence where you can add a little bit of speed to it, but the movements don't change. Don't go so fast so you can't execute this properly. We want to be moving with understanding, specificity, and intention. And let's add some badass intention on this one. Here we go. Come on. Faster. Out. One more. Up. Out. And down. And step out of that. March. The second exercise is what I call the swamp walk. Bring your hands up to your chin or to your shoulders here. Press that right hand up and lift that left leg all the way up out of the monkey swamp as we move forward. If you've been doing this here for a while, I'll give you guys a little progression for this. For those of you who've been around and know the swamp walk. As you lift that knee up, flex your ankle. In other words, lift your toe up as if you were trying to touch your knee. We want to keep the muscles on the front of those shins there nice and functional. And we are going to transition this into marching in place. So pick up the pace, march in place. And this next one is the footwork, foot speed drill. So it's 3 taps and catch. 3 taps to the side. And this is where we're working to get the speed back in the legs. So it's just 3 taps. And your assignment is to get those feet moving as quickly as you can. 2 taps, and then rest. Or not rest, but hold. Weight shift. Good. Faster. Good, Marty. 6, 5, as fast as you can. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. March. Okay. Here's a 10-second interval again. This is the last exercise of the circuit. We're going to go around 2 more times. We're going to run in place for 10 seconds, sprints in place, or think of it as high knees, 10 seconds. Or you can substitute, go back to the swamp walk if running in place is too difficult. Ready? And hit it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. No quit. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Big breath in. Woo. Spread the feet out. Hands up. Back to the first one. Up and across. Out and across. And down. And up. And out. And down. Breathe. We're still working. We're adding a little speed now. Come on. Beginning of the second one, second set. Up. Turn them up. Out. Throw them out. Down. Come on, YouTubers. Stay with us. And faster. Here we go. 2 more real fast. Out. Make it athletic. Up. Out. And down. Step out of that. March in place. Hands up. Swamp walk. Up. So if you were walking through a marsh or a swamp and you were up to your knees in muck, you probably wouldn't just sludge through it. You'd pick your legs straight up and lift it out. Abby Ann sent me a beautiful email. She said she was out walking through the snow with her husband, and I guess snowshoes. And she kind of got stuck, and her husband said, "Swamp walk it." So now she calls it snow walking. And it's funny, I didn't realize what she was talking about. And I went over to REI, I bought us some bikes so we can ride with my 2 little girls. And there were the snowshoes sitting right there. They're like the things that you can remember from the cartoons. Up, up, and let's transition this into marching in place. All right, footwork speed drill. Tap, tap, tap. Get the cadence down. Tap, tap, tap. Cha, cha, cha. And then when you get it, put some heat on it. Let's go. Quick. Make those feet move for you. Breathe. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. March. When we're doing that drill, you should stay kind of low and compressed, not way up tall. All right. Second sprint. You can substitute swamp walk. 10 seconds. Ready? Light jog. And hit it. 10, 9, 8. Pump those arms. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Woo. Big breath in. Let it out. Last set. Come on. Down, up and across. No quit. Whew. Up. You got to throw yourself into this, guys. The class doesn't last forever. We only got 25 minutes left. Let's work. Let's go for it. Give me some speed now. Work from the legs. As you come up, throw that punch out. Here we go. Faster still. 1 more. Up. Out. And down. Step out of that. March in place. Hands up. Swamp walk. Hit it. Up. Up. Should have said this earlier. As we're doing the swamp walk, I want you to notice this weight shift, lateral weight shift, side to side. The same thing happens when we walk. It's a very important component of gait. So just feel it. As you get the cadence, feel you going side to side. Like I say, it happens when we walk, but it's a little more difficult to perceive. This is like putting a magnifying glass on the weight shift. We can see it. Breathe. And speed it up into a marching in place. Footwork drill, 3 taps to the side. I know your legs feel heavy, right? It's okay. This set here, this is where the speed gets in. This is where we get the improvements in speed. So push through it. If you need to hang on to something like a chair, that's fine. Just move the feet. Here we go. As fast as you can. Let's go. Come on. Quick, quick, quick. Breathe. 6, as fast as you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. March. Beautiful. Last 10 second sprint. Listen up. Stick with it. Give me what you got, because I'm going to give you a rest after this. We're going to slow it down and do some standing balance and a stretch with the towel. So you don't need to hold it. You don't need to save it. I'll let you recover. Here we go. Light jog in place. Last 10 seconds. I want to see my champions here. Let's go. Show me what heart you got. Show me your heart. Here we go. Everything you got, 10 seconds. Nail it. 10. Pump those arms. 8. Come on. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. And time. Whew. Man, put the hand weights down. All right. Breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Do not stand still. As I said, we don't waste a second in this class. Yeah, Mike, look at you. You've been practicing. You're still running. As you're recovering, step different ways. Side step. Forward, backward. Just play around with the different patterns your hip might be doing through the day. Breathe. So we're actually practicing balance. And when your heart rate has come down enough, grab a sip of water. Whew. And as I said, grab your towel. So we haven't done the tubing yet. I'm going to get to that. We're actually going to use everything in this class. All right, so this is a standard gym towel. I have a whole bunch of them because I include them with some of my programs. Oh, by the way, I have DVD programs. Some of you probably found out about this class through buying something on Amazon. I sent out a notice. Thank you for those of you who did. And if those of you did do it, maybe you can post a review if you like the program. Amazon reviews are tough to get. They're so important. But anyway, so we got a towel. Any towel will do, but you want it so you can position your hands about shoulder width apart. And we're going to step forward and just raise the towel up overhead just to kind of continue the motion before we do a standing still position. We're not actually going to be still, but before we move to a fixed foot position. Breathe. Okay, so feet are hip width apart, slightly wider than hip width. Keeping them that width distance, take a giant step forward with the right leg. So I've got at least 3 feet between the front foot and back foot. My feet are pointed straight forward. My back toe is not pointing out this way. I'm going to try to point it straight forward. I'm going to grab the towel. I'm going to raise it up overhead. I'm going to arch back a little bit. And then I'm bring it down to shoulder level or chest level. Keeping it at chest level, I'm going to drop myself down and turn to the right as I lower the body into a lunge and try to touch that back knee toward, or drop that back knee towards the floor. Hold it back here. Now here's the flexibility part. See if you can pull your right hand down and let the opposite hand come down back behind the head a little bit. Try to do that without ducking your head forward. That's the one thing. If you can't do it, this is it involves a lot of shoulder flexibility. So if you can't do this, we'll get you to it. Just don't duck your head forward. We want to protect the neck. Breathe. Here's 3. Up, up, up. I think we'll do 5 on each side. This is 4. Good. This is a tough one. And when I would do this, when we were all meeting together, I would see that it wasn't achievable for everyone, but what they were doing still, I felt, had value. So even though I know that not everybody's going to be doing this 100% correct, I felt like it was worth throwing in. Really great balance stuff here. Okay, come on down, stay here. I want to show you guys something. Watch this. You see that? I see some of you doing that. Trying to regain your balance. That's wonderful. Those are training events. Reverse the setup. We want to encounter those. We, of course, don't want to fall. But those little shuffles around, it's that you're reprogramming your ability to maintain your balance. So don't get frustrated because you're doing that. That's great. All right, here we go. Up overhead, again, arch back. Bring it down to chest level, and this time turn into the front hip, which is now the left. Back to straight ahead, up. So if you arch back, it's actually going to open up your shoulders and your chest a little bit and allow you to get this stretch going. And it's also going to challenge your balance. The more you kind of lean back. We'll talk about that if I remember. Up, arch back. Down here. Down here. Turn, turn, turn. So I'm going to pull down with my left to begin. Breathe. We got, I think, this is 4. We'll do 2 more. But see there, I just did it myself. That little kind of fussing around there. It's good. Don't sweat it. Breathe. And one more time. Chest level. Turn. And back. This is high level stuff, guys. You're not going to see this in an average class, trust me. And what I'm seeing on my screen is awesome and inspiring. Okay, breathe and keep moving around. We're going to go to our exercise tubing. I think I'm going to come back to the towel towards the end because I want to talk about ground zero, which for those of you who are with us for the first time, ground zero is the location of the body that I feel is the most important location if you have Parkinson's. And it's actually an area behind you, which we don't have a very easy understanding of, the area directly between your shoulder blades. That's what I call ground zero. And we'll talk about that a little bit towards the end of class here. So I've got the tubing and overhand grip. I'm going to step out to the side, pull the hands apart. And again, if you can, without ducking your head forward, and you have that shoulder flexibility, see if you can lower the tubing or band, whatever you have, just behind your head there a little bit. And as you step forward and land the foot, I want you to see how the body feels as you kind of step forward, land that foot, regain full control, and drop down into squat. Talk about how much information is passed up from the sole of the foot. It's remarkable. As you step to the side, your body kind of floats over, your foot lands, sends signals up, telling you where you are and how to correct your balance, how to stabilize, all without you thinking. From the sole of the foot up through the ankle, knee, hip, and into the spine, central nervous system. It's a pretty cool thing. We'll do 1 more on each side, and we're going to give our shoulders a bit of a rest. And again, if you need to take a break and go ahead and catch your breath, totally fine. Spread your feet out. Push your hips back and bend the knees. So if you were to work out with me one-on-one, you would probably not feel like I'm the hardest, I'm not giving the hardest workout. The way I progress is I like to challenge my folks and gradually add more and more until we hit that sweet spot. You don't really need to work so hard that you kill the person. And I've seen people do that. Truly the barometer, let's do 2 more, for how hard you should work is your response to the session, the afternoon, and then the next day. if you're totally crashed and completely tired, you need to ease up. Bring it around. And we're going to now incorporate with tubing the body pattern that we use when we walk. It's going to be a little exaggerated, and we're going to add resistance to it. But the way it's going to look is you're going to step forward with the right leg as you create a diagonal across your body, creating that gait pattern. And the downside hand should be going right past the thigh of the lead leg as they're stepping forward. I don't like the way it looks the other way. Plus, it's not doing the gait pattern. So we take advantage of hundreds of different roads leading back to the same principle or same location. Muscle memory, motor learning, all this stuff we're working on. I like to say I've seen small changes make big differences. So stick with it. We'll get to those small changes in addition to this big tough work we're doing. 2 more. 1. And really pull those hands apart. 2. And let's give the shoulders a little bit of a rest here. Bring the tubing behind you one last time. And squat down and give me a bicep curl. I was going to talk a little bit about balance. You know, balance, vestibular system, the inner ear. We use sensors in our joints to tell us where we're standing and how we are standing in relationship to the ground or the environment, but also our eyes, our sense of sight, vastly important. And when we lose the horizon in front that we're used to, then the requirements of the other sensors are heightened. So when you arch back and you kind of lean back towards the ceiling like we did with that previous drill, you feel maybe a little bit more unsure of yourself, or your balance seems a little bit challenged. That's okay as long as you don't fall, of course. But that means you're just exercising those other components, strengthening those. 1 more, bring it out. Okay, so we're going to combine both movements into a routine that we're going to add some speed to. So as you recall, we stepped out to the side for the first one, and then the second one was the gait pattern. We step forward with the right leg, left leg. So let's get this movement established. And then we're going to add some speed to it and do 1 more interval, going through this pattern as fast as we can comfortably without endangering ourselves. Important, right? Woo! And then we're going to take a drink and we'll do some last standing stuff, cool down and stretch. And I'll talk to you guys a little bit about ground zero and pick up the pace. Hopefully by the end of the class, you'll feel like you've been led through a couple of routines that were good for the way the human body works, restoring strength and function. And you feel like you spent some time doing some stuff that's going to help. Here we go. Pick it up faster still. And we're going to do 6 when I tell you as fast as we can manage. And I want a full 6 from every one of you. And then we're going to rest. No reason to hold back. Leave it all here. Here we go. And hit it. Woo! Rip those hands out. Come on now. No quit. I don't care at this point if you're doing it not properly or you're not getting it exactly right. Now I want you moving. Slop through it if you have to. In other words, come on. I got 2 more. Breathe. Come on. Move those arms, Patrick. Come on. I just talked to myself. I don't like it when people talk to themselves. And I just did it. Last one, I'm going to do 7. Give me a full 6, guys. When you're done, march in place. Toss the tubing aside. Put your hands together. Wow. Bam! Grab a hit of water. So Wednesday, I'm going to work on the scramble with you. We're going to try to get to it today, but we can't do everything. But again, the loss of balance and the reaction the body automatically does is something we want to work on. Go ahead and grab your towel. Obviously, want to get as strong as you can, but you want to be working on speed stuff as well. So you're able to catch yourself in the event that you lose your balance. So towel against the chest, pull it apart and bend it. You'll feel those big muscles behind your shoulder there fire. We're trying to get you in touch with the muscles that control your shoulder blade. We want to pull your shoulder blades towards the center and down. Imagine tucking your shoulder blades into your back pocket. We'll step forward and pull back, and then forward and pull back, pulling back to that ground zero position, which is the area, like I said, between the shoulder blades, forward and back. So yeah, keep a little tension on the towel. You don't need to be ripping it apart, but keep a little tension on there. And see if you can't feel the shirt on the skin of your back, and see if you can call your attention to that, and see if you can identify the feeling of those shoulder blades coming together and down, those muscles in that ground zero position, engaging and stabilizing. Breathe. One more. Good. Now step out to the side as you press upward and pull right back down past your nose. You can, in fact, skim your nose with the towel and land in that ground zero position again. Breathe. Beautiful. Again, we want to be on a continuing pursuit of being able to experience and control and understand our bodies three-dimensionally. We want to understand the internal structures like the spine, the posterior structures like the backs of the shoulders, the shoulder blades, the low back, the mid back, the neck, all that stuff that's so important that can be affected by Parkinson's. One more on each side. Out to this side now. One more time. Step forward and pull back to ground zero. Other side. Out to the side. Back to ground zero. Out to the side. And one more. Forward. Back. Identifying the shoulder blades. The positioning. Out. And back. And out. And back. And then pause. Pull the towel. Bend it. Now without moving out of position, just relax. Open my hand up. Lower the towel down. And observe the chest. You can glance down. If you can see yourself in your monitor, feel the way this whole area feels much more broad and open. Big breath in. This is a good position for the upper body. It's proper. We want to construct it. We want to identify it. We want to practice it. And we want to build it. And we do that in this class every single time. All right, guys. Great work. We're going to do a cool down stretch. And like I said, I'm going to stick around afterwards. Actually, maybe I didn't say this, but I'm going to stick around afterwards to meet the new folks, say goodbye, and whatever. Tilt this down a little bit. Grab a hit of water. And yes. Go ahead and kick your right leg out to the side. Left hand can just be sitting on the chair here to hold yourself so you can really kind of get that leg out there. Hand is out, and we're going to imagine we have a beautiful little crystal clear stream right in front of us. You're going to sweep down and let the fingertips ripple through the water and up as if we were tracing the line of a crescent moon. We learn three different ways as humans. We learn verbally. We learn visually. And we learn kinesthetically. And that third one is important because the third one is kind of the culmination of the other two having an effect. If we can basically kinesthetically, which is kind of perception of feel, if we can feel our bodies when we're standing proper, then we can improve our posture. Up and pause here and press away. See if you can perceive a straight line. See, I'm looking at me. I'm not quite. There is my straight line from my arm down through my leg. And switch. You know, it's not a bad thing to kind of challenge yourself throughout the day. Play a game with yourself. Put yourself in a position or reach out with an arm and without looking at it. That's what proprioception is, by the way. Being able to perceive your body's position relative to itself and relative to the environment without seeing it. And fingertips through that beautiful chilled stream. So just check in, see if you can, see if you can line your feet up, hip width apart and parallel to each other without looking, and then look down and see what you did. Notice what your tendencies are. Learn if you have any deficits, identify them and be aware of them and practice them. One more, down, so through the water and up. See if I got it this time. Pretty good. In other words, a straight line from here down through my leg. That's what I'm trying to get. And bring it back to center. Sit up nice and tall in the chair. And we don't do this often enough. Let's do a self-check. How do we feel? We worked hard, right? Let me tell you something. You guys are, it's not as common as you think for people to be convinced that they need to exercise. Of all populations, bring your hands out. So you guys are champions. You're to be commended. That doesn't mean I'm going to be a nice guy all the time. Now, I was doing this so I can come and tell you, okay? Lift the toes. Now make a fist and point the knuckles at the ground and lift the heels. So the swing of the arms, see if you can maybe write that down after class and see if you can begin to think about that. We want to be moving mindfully. We want to be on a constant pursuit of coming up with tricks and behaviors and strategies that over time make improvements. Always be working on something. You're standing in line and waiting at the grocery store. Don't just sit there looking at your phone. Work on balance. You got a big sharpening cart right in front of you. Up and hold. Right hand down, right heel up. And back and forth. Breathe. Nice, nice, nice. And I like wrapping with this because now our forearms and our arms and our hands are all warmed up. So we can give ourselves a huge virtual applause. There was one other word I was trying to come up with and I couldn't think of it, so I just had to go to applause. All right, guys, don't forget the no money stretch. Thank you so much for your participation and your support. I'm going to go ahead and invite you guys to unmute. Wow, a big class. We ended with 70. That's awesome. So just before you unmute, just give your room a listen. Make sure you don't have any TVs on or something like that. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming. We'll wrap up here now. If you have any questions, go ahead and unmute yourself. And
thank you, Patrick. I gotta go see you on Wednesday.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Patrick.
You're welcome, guys.
Thank you, Patrick.
You're welcome, Barb.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Patrick.
Bye.
You're welcome.
Bye,
Thank you.
Bye, Shirley. Bye, Susie. Have a good day. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye, Elke.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Bye, Susie.
Yeah, we're at Handsome Dan.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you. Thanks, Dinah.
Patrick,
Yes.
it's Ross.
Hi, Ross.
I'm wondering,
Bye.
is there a time we shouldn't come back to ground zero when we're doing any exercise?
Yeah, so what I say is ground zero is important, but it's not like something that you're intended to hold throughout the day. You'll notice I'm not actually sitting in it, but when the opportunity presents itself, we want to just
Some
go
of
to
your,
a nice
some of
talk.
your punches, you come back to the shoulders, and other times you come back to the ground zero.
No, so that's an interesting question. I talk about this in boxing class. The actual boxing stance is actually contrary to what you want to do if you have Parkinson's all the time. I mean, you have Parkinson's all the time. You wouldn't want to hold a boxing stance all the time. The reason is your shoulders are kind of and rounded forward when you're holding a proper boxing stance. So that is kind of closing off the chest, but it's putting in the shoulder in a very good position to be able to throw a strong punch forward. So if you were in ground zero and you were going to punch forward, you would eventually end up in that position. So I talk about that, and it's fine to get a good workout in that position because it's a healthy position for the shoulder. But we always, again, then want to go ahead and reestablish that ground zero position. Hey, Debbie Moore, I hope you liked it.
It's a great class. Thank you very much.
All right, Ross.
Since you can't make a fist,
Class, thank you.
What's that?
Gonna miss.
I said I can't make a fist.
Well, you can just keep your hands loose. You don't need, unless you're punching a bag, you don't need to kind of make the full fist. Let me see what you can do, John. What can you do? Let me see your fist.
That's it.
Okay. that one you can make a fist. Yeah. You just want to kind of turn it on. If you're punching a bag, you want to have in boxing, there's really no wrist function. You want to have, because it's plyometric. When you're impacting a bag, your hand, the muscles of the back of the hand are weak, but if you're lined up properly, they can withstand quite a bit of force. So hitting with these knuckles, these 3 knuckles, maybe the center of the punch would be on this middle knuckle here. Bam. Never this knuckle. This is the weak knuckle. So if you take your gloves off and you're hitting a bag and you got like a sore here on your knuckle, you're not impacting properly. There are all these little tells that you can, for boxing, how the knuckles look at the end. And I've said this before, if you want to know what your tendencies are in terms of your gait, grab a pair of shoes that you've had for a long time and look at the soles of the shoes. Are they worn? Lots of times you will see, I'm hitting the front of I'm scuffing my right foot. I didn't notice that because it's more worn away, but that's a little trick maybe to
Patrick, I can do the swamp walk,
yeah.
but I can't run. When you start running,
Yeah.
if I practice that, will I be able to do it?
Yeah. I mean, you'll be able to do it better. There's always room for improvement. What happens when you're trying to do it that prevents you from doing it?
I don't know. I just can't do it. I can swamp walk and I can do the up, but when I start running, I can't. It just doesn't happen.
Okay, so what you can do is you can take your hand on a chair. Let me show you. You can try one side at a time, getting the coordination of this side going. And you can also try just pumping the arms for the sprint. And when I pump my arms, this is a sprinter drill. Who's talking here?
Okay, thank you.
But sprinters, when I run and I sprint, I don't open my elbow up. I keep a 90-degree bend in my elbow. And this is actually a drill that sprinters will do to try to get their upper bodies faster, because when they're sprinting, they're actually coordinating both limbs. So the theory is I can get my legs going faster if I can get my arms going faster. It's interesting. It actually gets into a concept that you might have heard for Parkinson's called forced exercise. There was a bike study. A doctor went on a tandem bike trip and noticed that he had Parkinson's, and noticed that after they would stop at the end of the day, he identified a significant reduction in some of his symptoms, and it actually had carryover. It lasted for some time. And they've been doing studies on something about the centrifugal or the rotational movement of the pedals in a forced manner, meaning sometimes there's a bike, I don't know how good it is, but there's a bike that has a motor on it that makes you move faster than you normally would. And, even just challenging yourself in this class, working harder than you normally would, probably as a concept of forced exercise, you're forcing yourself to exercise harder. So, but let me know after class if you guys have thoughts, if you're feeling better, if you're noticing an exacerbation of certain things or a reduction of certain things. It'd be good to hear. So you guys can always email me at patrick@smartxpd.com if you have requests or whatever. All right. Any last notes?
Thanks, Patrick.
You're welcome, Bill. Thank you. Sorry about the Chiefs. Next year. We'll get them next year.
All your fault.
Yeah, that's right.
My fault.
Yeah. All
I'm
right.
gonna miss boxing Thursday. I'm getting my second dose.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's awesome. That's so good to hear.
Anyway.
All right. Well, we'll miss you. I'll bring Ooch and Ouch out for you next week.
There you go. I'll see you Wednesday though.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you, Mike. Thanks again.
Great and long.
Thanks for the
Yeah,
information.
it's great and long. All right. Thanks, guys. Debbie, did you? Is it your first class, Debbie? I can't hear you. I think Debbie's trying to talk to me, but I can't hear her.
Did you
Yeah. Hey,
Thanks a lot.
what?
John,
John, hey.
thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Nice to see you.
Really appreciate your class.
Oh, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Very helpful.
Good. I'm glad. Thank you.
See you Wednesday.
Okay. See you Wednesday.
Patrick,
Yes,
you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Well, I am from the Turkey.
You're from
I'm
Turkey.
Nedim Tikali. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you a little bit now.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thanks for coming back.
Thank
I know
you.
it's late there. Okay. Bye.
Okay. See you.
See ya. All right. Just going to bump over here to the YouTube, see if.
Thank you, Patrick.
Oh, you're welcome, John. See you, brother.